The poems we will hear in this film were part of a study that delved into a deeper level of understanding the justice system. They aimed to open a different way of knowing. Data on the justice experience has grown significantly in recent years, shedding light on the realities of access and the asymmetries in the justice system. By using art, which often acts as the barometer of where we are as a community, I tried to deconstruct complex social problems. I wanted to move beyond the veneer of society and the structures that sustain them. In this way, we add contextual meaning to the current data. The aim of this type of inquiry is not to provide a new future, but to stimulate a narrative transformation of the past and the present. The study used 114 submissions, which were analyzed and thematically coded. Various themes emerged that indicate a far greater justice challenge than mere legal process. Through these poems, we come to see that justice is the thread that runs through our social fiber. It shapes how we live and interact with the world around us. The poems further illuminate the stories we tell ourselves and others. These are the narratives we pass down that shape an intergenerational interaction with the law. These are the ideas that influence how, why, and when we interact with the law. From mapping the interconnections of these themes, the complexity of justice becomes clear. Justice cannot be sanitized or contained to formal process. It bleeds into all aspects of life. From absent fathers, the lack of education, the remnants of apartheid, the plague of corruption and crime, all of these themes shape the narrative of how the legal system is approached. When people interact, look for recourse, or decide to enforce their rights, these concepts lie at the bottom of their souls, whispering that there is no justice for them.
Say something. Say something about us. About scarcity, squalor, disease, about avarice, lust and massacre, about bloodshed, torture, crime, about celebrity, ignorance and bling, about politics. Say something about Libya, Syria, about Afghanistan. Say something about Nairobi and 1,000 other wretched places. Say something about war.
About war.
Say something.
About sweatshops, jobs, and slavery. About poisoning, pollution, and pimps. About fracking the Karoo, the obscene nonsense of sustainable growth. About things that waste and die, that we're killing, along with ourselves. About China.
Say something about elephant, rhino, and lion. About tiger, orangutan, pangolin, condor, dolphin, and whale. Say something about the planet, our lovely, threatened globe. About me, about ours, about us. Say
something.
About the sickness of the body, of the TV mind, of the right to speak out, of the heart, of the soul. About death. About death. About death.
Say something. About husbands, wives, and daughters. About sisters, brothers, sons. Say something about corruption. About murders and rape. About loneliness, sorrow, wickedness, despair.
Say something about gods and gullibility. About faith. About bigotry and sin. About daydreams and night terrors. A childish compulsion to believe.
Then pause and say something.
If you can, whisper it. About peace,
about hope, about life. Say something about them, about us. The same, we're the same. Some honor, some decency, some light, some love.
Not gods, not spirits, not heavens, not hells, but us. Us alone, something. Something that we are. Speak it, and speak it, and speak it. Speak us. The color of the skies don't look the same no more. The chirping of the birds don't sound the same. The soil beneath the earth does not feel the same. The grass is not greener on either side. We are scarred before birth.
At the heart of these narratives lie the yearning for equality in South Africa. The stories speak of the asymmetry in accessing law, inequality in education, housing, recourse and protection from crime.
You'll see school buildings with broken windows, vandalized walls. The street separations go from tar to foot-made road passings and sandy paveways. All a constant reminder of a luta continua, not yet uhuru.
The asymmetries of social classes becomes a powerful aspect of personal identity. In a country marred by tangible, visible inequality, township versus suburb, private health care versus clinics, poor education versus private schools, it is reinforced at all touchpoints of life in South Africa. Inequality is further reinforced by the political past, colonial histories, and oppressive regimes. And although the political system has changed, these notions remain entrenched in the areas we live and the legal protection we access.
A people constantly subjected to divisions, precipitated from a subtracted past, granted a freedom now said to be ours, as if permission to such a right we first needed to seek. Sold a dream at the cost of a decent quality of life. As poverty mixes with the air feeding our lungs, while our breaths reek of the despairing standards set to define us. And minds, like rental property, to a decaying hope.
By succumbing to inequality and by accepting the justice system as it is, the nation is left limp. The Constitution boasts a proud bouquet of human rights, but they remain inaccessible to South Africans. The rights are for other people, not for them.
Mandela gave birth to freedom and riches. Today, this world is full of witches waiting for an opportunity to lead the youth astray. As a result, black inferiority is reborn.
My law is not your law. Your law is rich law. Mine is poor law. Your law has loopholes, mine engraved on stone. Your law bends, mine is rigid. I appear in court, I'm guilty. You appear in court, you're facing allegations. My state lawyer is a student of law. Your lawyer is a master of law. The poor peer through the window of justice. The poor hear of justices just on paper. The poor purely have never seen justice. The poor pass by justice and don't even recognize it. The law tastes sweet for those with deep pockets, and it tastes sour for those with empty pockets. Petty criminals feel the long arm of the law, yet big criminals, they get handshakes from justice.
The experience of justice is not only the ability to assert our civil rights, it is also a functioning criminal justice system. As crime soars, the notion of a just state deteriorates.
The money that was supposed to be used to build a shelter for someone. Instead, you bought your Rolex.
A world where the law chose whom to protect
And when
was unthinkable to me.
was unthinkable to me.
A country that cultivated criminals in its inability to prosecute them is a notion so ridiculous I may have laughed.
Were it not for my father's eyes and the thing that danced in them when he spoke.
In the mind, there are fights that one never wins. A quarrel between the body and soul. A virtue and a goal far from reach. The voice not heard, the voice leaves my throat. Struggles and hindrances from success. The force that leaves is better than dreams not ignored in a world of vultures and liars. Gone are the days when women and girls feared for their lives, when being out in the streets meant that you're face to face with death and there's nothing you can do about it.
Gone are the days where nightfall is the playground for criminals and those alike. Where a girl found lifeless in the bushes means she was wrong for being there in the first place.
Gone are the days when being raped is a sport. Where you are lucky if you have never been a forced participant. Where you have to convince the masses of your trauma, while the offender looks you straight in the depths of your eyes without shame or regret.
Gone are the days when being a woman meant that you have to be enduring, holding on to dear life as your lover violated every inch of your existence, without fear of being held accountable or shamed. Gone are the days when the helpless remain helpless, while the pockets of those who are more interested in unjustified enrichment become thick and full. A world that is okay with protecting the upper elite while the lower majority struggles to breathe.
And if you can't prove you're suffering, then you're not worthy to be saved. Saved with your own blood, sweat, and tears. Where if you have not reached near death, that means you don't deserve mercy. You'll be left to the hands of nature as it has its way with you. If you survive, you're lucky.
Gone are those days.
Today, doing good is what fuels us. We go beyond the call of duty to make sure that every child's right is taken care of, where every worker knows that their rights are respected and every employer is known for what is just and right.
The world is united and free. Hate is a thing of the past. Everything is done with passion and compassion.
And at the end of the day, everyone knows that they matter.
That their problems can be solved by a system that is for the victim.
A system that protects its victims and wipes their tears by being fair and just.
A system that does not further traumatize the victims but encourages truth and honesty.
A system where one will never wish to be caught with their hands inside the cookie jar.
Gone are the days where criminals thrive.
What emerged from these poems was a call of hope. The voices of the people within the system articulate a new future. It presents a vision to the community, and it illustrates the distance between what is and what ought to be. A future with justice at its core.
But let us redirect these flames to a future that is just. Let our hopes for this future be contagious and create trust. Our seeds have found a home. Indeed, tomorrow's sun is plowing hope.
An African dream of love is spread, singing songs of a nation with just one mouth
and ear.
So, I am choosing to stay in this life, to live here,
to
die here, here,
freely.
home.